We are at war with Russia.
We're at war with Russia? If for some reason you thought the histrionic screeching of 10,000 gender studies majors would lessen as time moved away from Donald Trump's historic victory over Hillary Clinton, you, much like me, were dead wrong. And nothing crystallizes this realization more than the latest baboon-screeching shit-throwing session the media has had in relation to the Russian hacking of the election.
Do you believe that Russia tried to interfere, get involved with the election process?
Vladimir Putin not only sanctioned the hacking of Democrats, but that he actually participated, or that he was the driving force behind it.
But I tell you, having worked in the CIA, if we had been caught interfering in European elections or Asian elections or anywhere in the world, those countries would call for new elections.
Other than being one of the most ridiculous attempts at a James Bond franchise reboot I have ever seen, this is a clear and present example of the media's general leftist hypocrisy. CNN. No, the presidential election can't be hacked.
A few moments later.
CNN. Where's the outrage over Russia's hack of the US election?
We are no longer a sovereign nation. We are no longer a democracy. We are no longer a free people. We are the victims of a bloodless coup.
By the way this sniveling little Nancy boy talks, you would expect that Russia actually hacked into the election results, flipping votes from Hillary Clinton to Donald Trump, but that's not true. In fact, the only evidence we have of any election night fraud is the massive Democrat voter fraud in Detroit, where some of Hillary Clinton's votes were overcounted up to 6 times. But no, what Russia did was much more insidious. Russia hacked into the DNC and into John Podesta's emails and told us the truth about the disease of corruption in Hillary Clinton's campaign.
He refused to say that he would respect the results of this election. Now, make no mistake, by doing that, he is threatening our democracy.
A few moments later.
Hillary Clinton joins the recount effort. Now, I'm not going to deny that Russia hacked the DNC, although I'd like to point out that the evidence presented to us has been wholly lacking in any kind of veracity. But if I'm perfectly honest, I don't think it matters who hacked the DNC. What they told us was the truth. But the entire leftist media establishment is freaking out because they don't like that the voters were very well informed about their own disgusting moral corruption. WikiLeaks revealed that Donna Brazile, who was the head of the DNC and a contributor to CNN, leaked debate questions to Hillary Clinton before the presidential debates with Donald Trump. WikiLeaks revealed that Bill Clinton got a $1 million birthday present from the Middle Eastern country of Qatar. According to John Podesta himself, Hillary Clinton has begun to hate everyday Americans. Hillary Clinton apparently has both a public and a private position, as revealed by WikiLeaks. The Clinton campaign had an off-the-record cocktail party with 38 journalists, editors, and news anchors from 16 different mainstream media outlets, including CNN, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, The New York Times, and more, with the stated goal of framing the presidential race. WikiLeaks also revealed that John Podesta received advanced drafts of New York Times articles before they were published. And this isn't even mentioning the downright criminal collusion between the DNC and the Clinton campaign to undermine Bernie Sanders during the Democratic primary.
It's now clear that so-called fake news can have real-world consequences. Hello?
Understand, I'll cut your frickin' head off, you understand, you bitch. We're gonna kill you and your family. Now that little dog's in the backyard, I'd like to chop your head off, bitch.
What?
Julian Assange, the white-haired internet wizard hacker extraordinaire who's been holed up in an Ecuadorian embassy for almost half a decade, has done more for journalistic truth and integrity in the United States than the entire Pulitzer Prize-winning mainstream media has in the past decade. Now the media is acting like a girlfriend that was caught cheating after you went through her phone messages. How dare you violate my privacy? Fuck your privacy. Hillary Clinton was a candidate for president, and your job as journalists was to investigate her, not rub elbows with her in some satanic-inspired, eyes-wide-shut party as you collude with her against the best interests of the American people. And I still can hear the crisp shrieking of conservative fuckboys like John McCain bellowing about Russia influencing the election. Who the fuck cares? If I had a list of people who tried to influence the election in favor of Hillary Clinton, it would include the entire Republican establishment, the mainstream media, every fucking comedian, celebrity, and newspaper in the Western Hemisphere, and Saudi Arabia that allegedly funded 20% of Hillary Clinton's campaign. I wouldn't care if Vladimir Putin himself donned some Matrix-inspired VR headset and personally skull-fucked John Podesta's BlackBerry to get those leaked emails, which wouldn't be all that hard, by the way, because Podesta's password was literally just password. But in the end, the grand evil Russian scheme behind this hacking resulted in one thing: a better informed electorate.
And so, I'd advise Mr. Trump to stop whining and go try to make his case to get votes.
A few moments later.
The fact that the Russians were doing this was not an obsession.
And as a brief aside, I'd like to mention that there is zero evidence that the Russian hacking was the final nail in the coffin of Hillary Clinton's crowning as Madam President of the United States, because the evidence shows that the final event that gave Trump the momentum to win the presidency was not the DNC or the Podesta emails, it was the FBI letter. The letter that culminated after Huma Abedin's estranged husband, Anthony Weiner, sexted a 15-year-old girl saying things like, "I will fuck your pussy so hard that you will leak and limp for a week." The FBI found some of Hillary Clinton's emails on one of his old laptops. I'm just waiting on Rachel Maddow to say that Russia hacked Anthony Weiner into being a disgusting, perverted pedophile. Now, leftists in this country have already tried rioting. They had that pathetic recount that cost millions of dollars and got Donald Trump around 150 more votes. They've been sending an innumerable amount of death threats to Republican electors to try to get them to vote against their electorate, violating the law. In fact, a number of washed-up hack celebrities released a YouTube video directed at the electors to try and influence them to vote against Donald Trump, telling them that if they did, they would earn their respect.
And you have my respect.
You have my respect.
You have my respect.
For your patriotism and service to the American people.
But thankfully, hack celebrities were just as impotent and powerless in influencing the electors as they were in influencing the election. Because earlier this week, on December 19th, the electors voted for Donald J. Trump.
The votes are 10 votes, Donald J. Trump.
You stole that America! My America! Take me out if you can!
Just watch this single mom desperately martyr herself, nailing herself to a cross as the police just look at her, embarrassed and ashamed for her existence.
Take me out if you can!
I guess they must have ran out of boxed wine and cat litter at Walmart. There's really only one thing I have left to say to liberals, and I know not all liberals are these whiny, entitled cunt children beset with constant borderline personality histrionics, but there are enough that frankly being a liberal is now an embarrassment, and liberals should be mocked and ridiculed and tormented with the political truth that you have brought upon yourself by your grand hubris until you finally grow the fuck up.
And there is also a passive-aggressive, subtler way to make this point clear. Never address Trump as president.
Donald Trump is going to be president, and there is nothing you can do about it.